My name is Justina Page. I'm from Richmond, Texas. I was a homeschool mother, 6 sons. I had taught them fire safety. We had been to the fire museum. Things you do for fun, you think, which actually saved the older boy's life. But what happened with me, woke up to explosions, TVs popping, couldn't see a thing, couldn't breathe. It was horrific. It's not like your Hollywood movies where there's light. You can't see a thing, complete darkness. My husband threw me out first, of course, because I was laying next to him. And when he threw me out, me being a mom, I knew my twins. They were 22 months at the time, could not follow a fire safety plan. So who's going to help them? It's mama. So I jumped back in, and unfortunately for me, the whole oak bookshelf just fell on me. And I was down, and my hands got the brunt of it, and my back side as well. Well, I can hear my sons in the other room. I have a son that has autism. So the 3 older boys grab their younger brother with autism, and they go to the point. There's a point in the house that you go to so that your parents could get you out. And that's how my husband was able to get all 4 of them out one by one. All of them burned. No one escaped burns. It was just too bad of a fire. But he got them out. And then I could hear my husband's voice fading in. He's just, sweetheart, sweet, where are you? Where are you? Because in his mind, I got you out first. Where are you? And then I could hear his voice getting closer and closer, and I'm fading in and out. I'm about to go, basically. You know, I'm fading in and out. I'm burning alive. Skin is just dropping off of me. And eventually I feel him lift me. Somehow he found me in the darkness. And, you know, my husband is the hero in this story. He's the one jumping in and out, just straight into fire, trying to save his family. And he throws me out again. So it's no more delicacy. It's no more kindness. It's, you know, he just literally threw me out. And I'm screaming. By now, I'm, you know, in shock. So I'm screaming. It's something about a mother and her children. And I'm screaming, I got 6 boys. Where are my boys? And someone says, we got 2 over here. I'm like, no, 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 no. Here's another one over here. I was like, that's 3. No, 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 no. You know, and I never did hear the number I wanted to hear. But meanwhile, my husband, the fire is so intense that he has to run around the block and go to the neighbor's backyard, jump over the neighbor's backyard just to get to the nursery that was attached to our, you know, master bedroom. He jumps in, he grabs one of the twins. By this time, the baby has hollered, so he has internal burns, upper facial burns, neck, and he just drops him there, and then before he's able to get the last son, the house caves in. The firefighters get there, they load us up, the paramedics load us up. They said they loaded us up 2 by 2. Everybody had to go to the hospital. Ben and I were first. I didn't know who was in there with me. I knew I was in bad shape, though, because I could feel the tears of the paramedics dropping. And I'm like, this is not good. Because I know they should be in control of their emotions. I know. And I'm like, if he's crying, he's just screaming at me, breathe, baby, please breathe. Please breathe, you know. And I'm not, you know, I'm fading in and out, just in and out, in and out. And I hear this sound. It sounds like an animal, just this, I'm like, what is that? And then it dawns on me it's one of my children. And that's when I pass out. And I don't wake up for another 8 weeks. So severely burned with the hands, and over 55% of my body, actually. With my hands, the surgeon said that he was going to amputate them. I didn't know this. I was in a coma for about 8 weeks. So intubated. It was very, very rough, very, very rough. But he said I was so tough during my intubation. He said I took the tube out a couple of times. It was like, this is a strong-willed woman. She'll be okay. She'll do the therapy that's needed to have function again in her hands. And it was excruciating. My hands were mangled. This one was this way, and this one was twisted this way. And it took a lot of pain, tears, and work, screaming to get my hands functional again. They had to do a partial amputation, and I remember when I got out the hospital, it took about a year to be able to use my hands again. And well, right before that year was up, my hands stayed in splints, both of them, all the time, just stretching, whatever. It was rough at first, though. I felt like I was schizophrenic. I really did. And the reason why I say that was, how do you celebrate the milestone of one on the heels of the death, especially that first year? It took me completely out, because I have one son who died so tragically. Then I have one son that was burned severely and made it just miraculously. It was just, my feelings were all over everywhere. I figured it out, though. I figured out what to do, but it was bad. The second son, Joseph, it shook him for a long time. I'll never forget it. We were having a movie night. We had movie nights with the family, me and all the men. Yeah, that's my life, me and men. And so we had movie night, and all of a sudden, just out of the blue, Joseph just says, "Mom, I'm a coward." And I'm like, whoa, what? And I'm Mama Bear. Who said it? He's like, "Remember the fire." And I'm like, whoa, what? What are you talking about? He said, "I only saved my life. Jonathan tried to save somebody. I'm a coward. I didn't try to do anything." I'm like, "Joseph, you were 6. You did what you were supposed to do." That hurt. Crazy hurt. I was like, oh my God, my baby's been carrying this. And this is like 5 years down the line when he comes out with this. But all those years, that's how he has labeled himself. Yeah. Grief is interesting. It has, it doesn't go away. You don't get around the pain. You get through it. Now, I wouldn't just sit around just talking about this for no reason. But because it's going to mean something. And that's what gives me peace, and that's what gives me courage, and that's what gives me strength to do it over and over again. Because if I could save one person from having to go through what I went through, I'll do it over and over and over again. But yeah, it's painful every time. I mean, that's my son. 22 months. He was just shy of two. He would be 25 right now. The thing that I experienced didn't have to be. It could have been helped had we known about fire sprinklers. Just simple knowledge, just basic knowledge. I thought fire sprinklers were for businesses. I was really shocked. I'm like, are you serious? We can have this in our homes? Common Voices is a group of advocates that advocate for fire sprinkler and fire safety in general. We want to make a fire-safe America. These are powerhouses. Yeah, these are people who have suffered loss, be that loss of life, a husband, a child, family members, or who have been burned and experienced traumatic loss themselves. And if it's any way I could help or be a part of causing change or effect in that area, I'm there for it. A fire safe USA, and in particular, legislation that will allow fire sprinklers and for the home builders to put it as just maybe even an option. Let's start there. Let's give people an option. Let them know that they can have fire sprinklers. So the whole goal is to get our homes sprinklered, where we could have the little firefighters at the house. It would have been the difference between life and death. Not only would have life, we would have had a home because we lost everything. We share our stories. We share where we've been, what would have happened, what it would have meant if we had the fire sprinklers ourselves, how life would be different, and how we don't want you to experience this mainly. This is what it's going to look like if this happens to you. I wouldn't do anything that I felt wasn't worthwhile. So I know we're making progress. I know it matters. And I know it's effective. I know hearts are touched. And I keep going back to the same piece. Knowledge is power. A lot of times when people know better, they do better. Just like everyone knows now that if we wear seatbelts, we won't have so much devastation and crashes. It's I think it's the same principle. But it was a time when, right, we didn't know that, right? And we all rode around flipping and flopping in the cars or whatever, and, insurance rates hiking up or whatever. But I think if the masses knew, and I'm talking about the general population when I'm talking about the masses, I mean, forget Congress. I'm talking about the mass of just ordinary people. The more that know, the more effective we can be about getting policy change, because the constituents are the ones that can get their particular politicians moving. And they can request, hey, this is what we want, this is what we need. So that's one thing, the knowledge piece. And I think if the builders would be more compliant, the builders are give a big pushback, and it's all money. Here's the thing, if a house burns down, guess what happens? They get to build it again. I think it's pathetic. I think it's pathetic when anyone would put money over a human life. It just means that maybe your heart is not just exactly in the right place, like at all. And it's a shame. It really is. The laws are changing. Things are moving. People being more aware. It's happening. Very slow. It gives the lost purpose. It's extremely soothing, because what I don't want personally is for Amos to die and, oh, he just died and it didn't mean anything and his life had no meaning. But his life is still affecting other lives continually, all the time, through the story. He's still a part of this family. We'll never forget you. And it also empowers me as far as what I do now. Like, keep fighting the good fight. Keep going, keep moving. He's there, he's in my heart, he's ever present.